Hey everyone, today we are going to be checking out some more wireless audio, specifically this AnkerWork M650, and comparing it to the Rode Wireless Go 2 and the new DJI mic. Now, in full disclosure, AnkerWork is sponsoring this video, so thank you to them for providing both the financial means for me to do more tests like this, as well as the mic for comparison. But I will say I get a lot of emails like this asking to sponsor videos. But one of the things I liked about this is I said, sure, I'm interested in the product, but I'm really interested in how it actually compares to the Rode and the DJI mic specifically. So yes, this is a sponsored video by AnkerWork, but I'm really excited to actually test it against what the other kind of like industry standard microphones are and get a good idea of what actually is best for which people, right? So to start off, we'll get a little overview of the AnkerWork, and then later in the video, we will compare them directly to the Rode and the DJI. So I'm not one for unboxing, but here is kind of what comes in the kit here. You get this nice case. Obviously, it has a little bit of a sheen to it. Inside, you get the main charging case that includes both the transmitters and the receiver. Inside, you get the cable that attaches to the camera, a USB-C to USB-C cable that obviously charges the case, as well as then the transmitters and the receiver. You get the little wind muff things here for outdoor use, which actually is really, really useful. And then something that I haven't seen in any other thing yet as well, they give you the standard, you can either get this in black or white. I obviously have the black version, but then they also give you the kind of tannish, goldish color here of the AnkerWork logo, as well as a green version that you're able to kind of swap these out. So the nice thing for me, obviously I wear a lot of black, so totally fine with the black versions, but I do also wear a lot of this tan color that you also see throughout my office. So the whole color palette works really well for me. And what I'm hoping happens is that if these do become popular enough, you're going to be able to buy multiple of these in different colors and maybe even get this with your own branding or just some other custom ways to get these, because I do really love the interchangeableness of this. And the fact that since these are circular, they kind of just look a little bit more like a button than a typical microphone system. So they might be able to give you a little bit more of a natural look, I guess. On the receiver here, we have a very large screen. It's almost 1.5 inches. So if you're really thinking about the sizes of a lot of these other screens, this is definitely the biggest by far. Makes everything really easy. It's a full touch screen, so you're able to go through the settings, change gain, change noise cancellation, all that kind of stuff. It also gives you USB-C for things like an Android type of phone, an iPad, as well as one for a Lightning connection, which is, for iPhones and some other of the iPads out there. It makes it very, very easy. It's just a simple little twist, put on. You don't have to take anything else off. You just put this on, slide it into your device, and you're able to roll with that. So right now we're listening to the audio through the SM7B directly into my Sony FX3, but now we're going to start using all of these microphones directly into the Sony a7 IV here so that we can just get a fair comparison and actually listen to the microphones that we're talking about. So here we are on the side of my house on a breezy day, to say the least. This is the AnkerWork M650. With no processing. The only thing I have on currently is the windscreen, and here's how it sounds. All right, and some birds have started chirping quite loudly right next to me. It is also still very windy, but here it is with the low noise reduction turned on. What I've heard so far is I actually prefer this definitely over the high noise reduction. And I wish that this was actually the high, and then there was another step below this one in between none and what the low is. So I think that would kind of be the sweet spot. And here we go. Here we are on the high setting for the noise reduction. It's actually calmed down quite a bit, but there's plenty of noise and animals just right next to me. So here's what it sounds like with the high turned on. The magnet on here is also pretty strong, so it was really easy just to move it straight through my sweatshirt to the other side. But the nice thing about this is it doesn't look like a microphone. The other ones look like a microphone, and this just looks like a weird button. And I'm sure people would still be like, "What's AnkerWork?" But again, you could make some more minimal or branded ones for your own brand. That would be pretty sweet. All right, so here's the DJI mic. It's on just regular good settings. Looks like my audio levels are fine. I'll say that as I'm putting this on, the magnet system on this versus the AnkerWork isn't as good because there is an actual magnet that goes on the back of this. So if I lose that little magnet, then I'm just gone. Versus the other one, the actual clip comes off. And when I went and filmed with my son, the DJI came off of him when he was running around, but the AnkerWork didn't. And I also found that as I was moving this around, if like I wanted to move this to another part of my sweatshirt, yeah, it just automatically falls off. So a little bit harder to kind of work with in that way if you are going to use, you know, this stuff without a shirt that has a clip or something. And now I'm gonna have to find where this magnet went on the ground. So you can see here that the magnet is just this little magnet, and then it magnets to the back clip here. And on the AnkerWorks, the clip itself actually comes off, which is really nice because this is a very directional microphone in the way it's shaped, not necessarily in its polar pattern. But the AnkerWork, you can move around so that you can face the capsule in whatever direction you want. This one, on the other hand, let's say I was wearing a shirt, I'd have to fit it sideways instead of facing it up if I wanted to. So again, they're omnidirectional microphones, but just another of those things. All right, well, I kid you not, I had charged these a couple days ago. Maybe I left it on accident or something, but it's another detriment to that charging case because the receiver is dead. So here is the Rode Wireless Go 2. Here's how it sounds. Everything just died down quite a bit, so it's actually probably going to sound pretty decent. The wind thing popped off. Man, it's just not a good day for the Rode, huh? So since I don't have any sort of magnet system to use with the Rode, here's kind of where we run into one of our issues. So I can either like pinch my shirt and try to do that, but then it just looks ridiculous, right? I can use a collared shirt on purpose, or like a lav mic or something. I have this other camera because I'm shooting some B-roll, so that works. Or what I've seen a lot of people do is have the microphone all the way up here, right on their neck. And this is actually facing out towards the camera, so I'm gonna get a lot more of stuff out there as well. And it's actually gonna pick up a little bit of my voice, but oftentimes I'll see it like right here. And as you can probably hear, there's a lot of bass because you're getting like my chest and my neck, but you're not necessarily getting all like the, I don't know, clarity of my voice. But it's one of the things that I'm not stoked about on the Rode system. So it's one of those things where I would probably either do one of these. I think this works well for this, but how often are you gonna have something like this? Or that whole handheld module. If I was doing that and had a free hand, then you could do that. Or, I don't know, just hold it like it's TikTok, right? Now you're listening to the audio from the capsule on the AnkerWork M650, transmitting from this directly into the receiver that's attached to the A7 IV. So now that we have this on, I'll read a few of the specs and give some of the information on this so you can actually hear what it sounds like in practice. Both me looking directly kind of at a thing in front of me and looking to something on the side, as this is an omnidirectional microphone. One of the things is the voice shield noise cancellation technology, which if you're out in a big busy scene, it can kind of help get away from some of those distractions. Obviously you get 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. It also gives you 656 feet of distance in terms of the transmission and codec quality. You get up to 6 hours of operating time with each of the transmitters and receivers, but pairing it with the charging case gives you up to 15 hours without needing to plug it back into another device to charge the case itself. It has internal recording, as well as I'm using right now a safety track, which allows you to have one track at a normal volume and another track at a little bit lower volume. So then you can go back and post if you do end up yelling really loud or getting kind of crazy, and then you'll have one track that's giving you that at a lower volume so you're not clipping and blowing out your audio. The internal recording also lasts for up to 7 hours. So a ton of time. In case you have any sort of disruption from whatever the case may be, you do have the internal recordings, which gives someone like me a lot of peace of mind, especially if I'm doing something like a wedding. All right, now that we've gone over the AnkerWork specifically, let's just read through the specs of each using each of their microphones so you can see what they sound like and kind of give a good comparison in terms of all the specs. So the AnkerWork M650 has voice shield noise reduction. It has a magnetic clip-on attachment, which is really nice, as well as a colorful little color swapping attachment in terms of design. The wireless connectivity is in the 2.4 gigahertz range, but also includes the LC3 Plus codec, which gives us up to 656 feet or 200 meters in distance. The operating time is 6 hours or 15 hours with the charging case. The touchscreen is a 1.47-inch touchscreen display. It comes with phone adapters for Lightning and USB-C. The charging case is included. You can use the AnkerWork software to change settings, offload the recordings, and you get the option to get the case as well as the transmitters and receivers in either black or white. And then the available covers are black, white, gold, green, blue, or purple. And the MSRP of this thing is $249.99. All right, and here is the DJI mic. Now, the DJI mic has this magnetic clip with also the clip thing. It's not my favorite, but it's nice that they have it. The wireless connectivity says it's a 2.4 gigahertz with an 820 foot range, which is 250 meters. The operating time is 5.5 hours, and then the charging case provides an additional hour and a half. The touchscreen on here is a 1.1 inch touchscreen, so a little bit smaller than the AnkerWorks, but it still has a touchscreen that you can actually use. It also does have phone adapters for USB-C and the Lightning here, but you do have to remove the cold shoe on the device, so it's a little bit finicky. There is no app to worry about as far as getting, files off of this thing. They come in black and only black, and the price is the most expensive of the group at $329.99. So the Rode Wireless Go 2, it has this clip, but it doesn't give you any sort of magnet system or any other better way of mounting it, so we're stuck up here. The wireless connectivity, again, is 2.4 gigahertz, and then the distance is 200 meters or 656 feet. The operating time is up to 7 hours. There is no touchscreen, and there is a small display on the top of the receiver here. But I'm gonna be honest, it was one of those things that I was super annoyed with when I first got it and had to try to figure out how to set it up. I was like looking through online tutorials and everything, just because there's 2 buttons on the back of here and then 1 on the top, but there's no real way to make it easy unless you're plugging it into the Rode Central app either on your phone or on a computer. So if you want to change the settings or anything, it's just a very rudimentary system, which I was definitely not a fan of. They do have the Rode Central app, which is nice and can do nice things, but you're kind of stuck needing to use that and then plugging in the devices to use it and all that kind of stuff. I know that the original Wireless Go can also come in white, but I believe the Wireless Go 2 just comes in black. And the current price that I saw for these was $299.99. So overall, I really do appreciate what the AnkerWork has brought to the table. It's bringing in all of the features that I love about the other ones at a better price point. I do love the design of the transmitter and love the idea that you can take off these little covers here and add other ones. The larger touchscreen on here is definitely a huge plus for me. The only thing out of everything that I wish it could do was turn around. If it had the same little connection thing as it does on the transmitters where you can just flip the thing around, honestly, I think that's really the only improvement that I would like to see. But overall, I think this is a great buy, especially at the price point being less than both of its competitors. So thanks again to AnkerWork for sponsoring this video and allowing me to check out and compare these other ones with it. If you are interested in this, obviously I will have a link down in the description below. So thanks again, and I will see you all in the next one.